The Echelon Radio Network presents the Tax Matters Radio Podcast, a conversation about money for everyone, with your host, Gary Weiss.
Welcome to the Echelon Tax Matters Specialty Group Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Weiss. This podcast is written and developed for those of us impacted by the complex, lengthy, and confusing tax laws. Taxes of all kinds are part of our everyday life, and this podcast is a way to bring you the relevant, easy to understand, and very relatable topics to help you make informed, sound financial decisions. Besides all that, I have interesting and wonderful guests with amazing stories. I am a licensed CPA in California. I have a practice in Woodland Hills with my partner, Quentin Staples. I also do tax resolution services, so I'm always fighting the IRS and the FTB. Speaking of amazing guests, sitting across the table from me today is a lovely, highly intelligent, multi-talented Susana Barajas of the Echelon Group. Susana, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Gary, for having me.
Okay, so tell our listeners that want to know, definitely now that I built you up, tell us a little bit about you, your background, how you got where you are, and what makes Susana tick.
Well, I am the number 7th child in a family of 8. I was born last with my twin brother. And my family is originally from Mexico. Most of my brothers and sisters immigrated over to the United States, and myself and my twin brother were born here. Growing up, my mom instilled in me, hardworking values, and we've always been really close, and they've always been supportive of me. One of the things she instilled in me was to get an education. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to go to school because my grandfather had her working in the field, so she always wanted to go to school, and since she didn't have the opportunity, she always wanted all of her children to have a quality education. So growing up in a Mexican family, you just see, women get married, settle down, be housewives. And growing up, that's what I thought I was going to do. That's what I saw growing up. But, when I was in high school, my mom, just said to me, you're either going to go to school, you're going to go to college, or you're going to get a job. And I was like, I thought I was just going to, get married and have children and take care of my husband. And she's like, no, I don't want you here in the house doing nothing. So I was like, well, I don't feel like going out and look for a job. But, so I had really good grades, and I got a really nice scholarship and Pell Grants to go to Woodbury University. And the way I chose my profession, I always knew I was good with numbers. Those were my easiest classes, algebra, geometry. So I decided to just get into accounting. So that's how I decided to become a CPA.
Yeah. So what was your favorite accounting course?
Algebra and calculus. Those were the easiest classes for me.
But what was your favorite accounting course? Because that first course, when I took accounting, was the first course that nailed me. I was interested. I was hooked at that point. So what was your course that said, this is what I want to do?
Introduction to accounting. My first intro class. I was like, I can do this.
Mm-hmm. What did you learn in that class that made you...
Debits and credits.
Debits and credits.
That everything needs to balance.
So you like balance.
I love balancing.
You want to tell our listeners what debit and credit means?
It's accounting terms, a debit, that's usually an expense or, a deposit into your bank account. A credit, it's either an income or a liability in your balance sheet account.
But in the ancient terms, debit means left, credit means right. That's all it is.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's all that means. So everybody does use this term. They think it's a big deal. Nothing's a big deal. So tell me, you're from Mexico. That's great. So what's your favorite food?
I love my mom's enchiladas, homemade enchiladas.
Mm-hmm. And when you go out, what's your favorite Mexican restaurant?
Frida's Mexican cuisine in Glendale.
In Glendale.
Yes.
Great place for a Mexican restaurant.
My mom approves of their food. There's like, this is authentic.
Well, nothing is more important. If mom If mom gives it her blessing, then it is good food.
Yes.
So that's really interesting. So I know a secret about you, which I'm going to talk about right now. It has nothing to do with accounting, has nothing to do with anything. But one of your passions is salsa dancing. So tell us about that.
Well, that was a complete surprise. It was shocking that I even got into that because I grew up introverted, and since I was the youngest girl, I was highly overprotected by the whole family, and I was really shy and really quiet. And my sister was dating a Central American from Nicaragua who snuck me into a nightclub, Riviera. It was one of the hottest salsa spots at the time. And I just saw this couple dancing together to salsa, and I loved the way they danced. And I just kept going back and learning how to dance, and I just got hooked. I dragged my sisters because they would allow me to go in as long as I was accompanied by a grown-up who was over 21, and I would drag my sister every Saturday to take me dancing so I can learn more. And
okay. So for those who don't know, not everybody knows what that is, please describe salsa dancing to someone who has no clue what it is.
It's tropical music. It's couple dancing, and it's highly technical, and there's many combinations you can do, and it's music usually that comes from Central America. It's not really well known in Mexico, where I'm from, so I really didn't like the music. So I loved the dancing first before I even grew to liking the music. The music just grew on me, but it was just the dancing, the way this couple was dancing together, so smoothly in harmony with so much rhythm and passion. They were just feeling the music, and I was just in awe of this couple. I remember them to this day.
What I know of salsa dancing, I am not a dancer, trust me, but what I know of salsa dancing, passion is probably the main ingredient to it. When you see true salsa dancers, there is tremendous connection between them. The passion is strong. It makes the dance.
It really does.
So when you dance the same way with that level of passion and strength and power?
I'd like to think so. I was going, after I graduated from Woodbury, I was going 6 nights a week. There was no place open on Tuesdays, so that was my day off for going salsa dancing. My mom was really upset at me because I was out every night. But that's all I was doing. I was just hooked. And the thing about it is a man is the one that has to lead you. And so every man has their own steps, their own style, and that was what made it fun. And I was just dancing with all these different people, and it was never the same thing. They had their own style, moves, dips. So I was just really hooked on it. I was just getting better and better, and then I got asked to be in a dance group. And then, so I tried that. It was more learning routines and, building a presence and learning how to perform in front of people, which was absolutely nerve-wracking. Nerve-wracking, because I was like, me do this, and so, little by little with practice after practice, it got better. And then I met my 2 best friends who had been performing for years. And so they took me under their wing, and they showed me how to do makeup. Because the first time I showed up with them at a performance, they were like, "Where's your makeup?" I'm like, "It's already on." And she's like, "No, you look like a ghost on stage." And so they had their makeup artist do my makeup and my hair, and they advised me on, I have to build this persona on stage that you want to convey. And when I saw myself on video, I'm like, no, I don't look so sharp. I'm looking down too much. I'm not making good audience contact. And that brought me out of my shell. I had to if I wanted to be a good salsa dancer.
Well, that's interesting. So what kind of costumes are in salsa dancing?
Oh, my God. Really skimpy ones. Things that I was not used to wearing. And so...
Or your mother used to seeing you in wearing.
Oh, yeah, that was an argument because she does alterations, and I would have her alter my costumes, and that was an argument in itself. She thought they were too short or too tight. But usually there were dresses. with a lot of sequins, shiny, they were the better, that sort of thing.
Okay, great. So let's go back a little bit further. So you're from Mexico.
Yes.
Okay, and what age did you come here?
I was born here. My twin brother and myself were the last ones born here. Yeah, all my other 6 siblings were born in Mexico.
Where'd you grow up?
In L.A., in Highland Park.
Oh, nice. Mm-hmm. So where did you go to school?
I went to Franklin High School, Benjamin Franklin High School. And then I went to Woodbury University in Burbank.
Nice. So you sort of have both cultures, and you have American culture, well-grounded in that, well-grounded in Mexican culture. So for you, it's easy to go back and forth.
Yes.
No, that's nice. That's good. So let's talk a little bit about after Woodbury. So you decided, I'm going to become an accountant. Very exciting. So you just took the CPA exam, passed it, decided to get a job?
It didn't really work out that way. When I graduated, I was sick and tired of being in school. I was a good student. I studied and worked my butt off, through high school, got good grades, and then college. And then I was hooked in salsa dancing, so I did that for the next 12 years.
12 years?
Yes,
Nice.
I got into the dance group, and then I was competing. I started off as an amateur, and then my dance partner was a professional, so I was classified as a professional. And that was harder competition, so I did that for...
Nice. A professional salsa dancer who's also a CPA, a partner in an accounting firm. Boy, it does not get more well-rounded than that. So that's great. All right. So with all that, then, so how did you make that transition to finally pass the CPA exam and start working in the accounting field?
Yes. So I decided that, dancing professionally wasn't going to, support me in California. So I decided to sit down for the exam. I got a job in my first CPA firm, and it was one of the hardest things ever, having to study after being out of school for a long time. And that took me a while to, commit to it. And I had to stop dancing. I stopped communicating with my friends. I just worked and studied for the CPA exam. That took me, I don't even know if I want to admit how long it took me, but I finally passed it. And it was more about learning the profession and getting experience in a CPA firm.
Nice. So now that you passed the CPA exam, you started in accounting, and when I did, by the way, I did something very similar to that. Left school, took the CPA exam way after I finished school, so I definitely understand. All you do is study. Just give you one quick story. I was working at Hughes Aircraft at the time, and I was studying for the exam, and I was taking Doberman. And I had, at that time, it was the first time they had come out with floppy disks. If anybody remembers what a floppy disk is, it's a little piece of plastic that goes into a computer. So I was sitting late at night in the building. Everybody had gone home, and I was going over the questions up on the screen. And at one point, all the lights went off. I kept going. Didn't make any difference. You have to study, right? At one point, I realized I was going like this: A, B, C, literally that fast, because I had memorized this outline of the question. I didn't even have to read it anymore. I went home. I figured I'd studied enough. But yeah, it's a major accomplishment to pass the CPA exam. It's a lot of work.
It is.
Okay, so now you pass the exam, you start working. What did you find in accounting that kept you there? Because that you know that being in the position you're in, is you get a lot of people who'll start and say, this is just not for me, and they'll leave. So what kept you?
I was really good at it.
That's a good thing to be.
My first CPA firm, I was with 3 partner women. They took me in and trained me in auditing. And really, they started me off in really complicated audits like HUD, Yellow Book.
Ooh.
And yeah, they threw me in there. And I didn't think I would be able to do it, but it was my job, and it was just surprising how I would accomplish them. Everything they threw at me, I would accomplish, and they gave me high praises, and I was getting things done that I didn't think I would be able to. The level, and I just saw the experience, the technique, the ability to do things just growing, and that's why now I knew I was in the right place, in the right profession.
And for those who are listening, a Yellow Book audit is?
Governmental requirements of that the government wants businesses or whoever gets funding to do audits, and it's highly technical, and the government is, has their extensive requirements that need to be done.
Yes. So then you did that, but where'd you go from there?
I moved into another better paying CPA firm where I was not working for me. I wasn't able to pay my bills, and being a small firm, they claimed they couldn't really pay me more. So I needed to get a better paying job. And so I moved to the firm where I was at for almost 8 years. And they were willing to accommodate me and pay me more. And I grew even further in this accounting firm.
What'd you do there?
More of the same thing. And I did more audits over there and more tax work, just more complicated, and dealt with more clients, and just continued growing as a CPA.
Okay, so now you're a partner at the Allegiant Group. That's an incredible accomplishment, figuring you started out as a salsa dancer.
Thank you.
That's very good. So tell us about what Allegiant Group does. What do they specialize in? What do you specialize in? What do your clients look like?
At Allegiant Group, we do a little bit of everything. We have an attestation side, and that's where we do formal financial statements that are compilations, reviews, and audits. And then we have a tax accounting side, tax work side, and I work on both sides. And what I really like about Allegiant Group is that we do really work as a team, and we work closely with our clients, which are closely held companies, medium-sized entities. The biggest client we have is around $35 million in gross. And so we just don't hear from them, every year. We get to know them, we build a relationship with them, and we, help them in every facet of their business and then their personal. And they know they can reach out to us for any questions they may have. And during COVID, that side of our business, the consulting side, really grew and took off, because with everything that was going on with the pandemic and all these government funds that were being dished out, and clients needed help getting information on how to get the PPP loans or their stimulus, or, so we paved the way for that side of our business. And we have a lot more interactions with our clients. They know that, we can help them out with much more than just their tax return every year.
So you try to make your connection to your clients personal.
Absolutely.
So that helps them, and they feel, when they walk into your office, they feel comfortable.
Yes.
It's like the client we were just discussing before we started, the one that came in that hasn't filed since 2017. Always an interesting thing when people are panicking, right?
Absolutely.
That's really part of our job, is to stop them from panicking, make them feel comfortable. The tax returns are a secondary thing, but that's what we try to do, is make our clients feel comfortable.
Well, not only feel comfortable, but actually think of us when they're going through a life change. If they want to retire, if their kid is going to take over their business, what that's going to look like, what needs to be done to do the transitioning, and if they're ready to, retire, and how much are they going to need to distribute from their retirement in order to live, and how that's going to look on the tax side of things. Or if they want to build their estate, what are the tax consequences when that kicks in? That's the important thing, reaching out to us before any of that happens, and be prepared for things like that.
To do that, you have to know your client, not a person coming in. You have to really know a lot about their personal life, who they are, what type of person they are, what their goals are.
Well, not only that, but have them feel comfortable enough to talk to us about personal things like that, because not everybody will want to tell us, about their children, or plan for things in the future. Sometimes it's an uncomfortable conversation for them, and if they can trust us and be comfortable opening up to us, they really will. It does really help that relationship, and it helps them know and grow and be aware of what the consequences are tax-wise.
Great. So tell us a little bit at this point. Tell us about what you see in the future for you individually, and what you see. Where do you see the tax profession going, and what those type of things?
Well, I just became partner at the start of this year, so I'm really working on getting acclimated with that side of the business. It's a different mindset, and still being able to service my clients, and transitioning into that role more of as a partner. We are looking to grow, and we are looking to hire more talent, and that's been a challenge. We're looking in to see how we can retain and bring in employees and help them grow and be happy with, in their profession working with us. So that's a goal down in the future, whether it's remotely, getting more used to being remote, or hybrid, and getting used to those changes.
Wait, I have a question. If somebody is listening to this and goes, "Wow, this sounds like a great place to work," what kind of talent are you looking for at the moment?
Well, we are looking to somebody to come in and willing to learn and grow and expand. Our firm is diverse in what we do. It's not just plain audits. It's not just taxation. It's a combination of everything, and they really will learn a little bit of everything at our firm, because we deal with so many facets of the profession, from basic bookkeeping to payroll, sales tax, up to more complicated accounting, financial statements, up to audits, complicated tax returns, a little bit of everything, projections, tax planning. So they really will get the full experience of what our profession is.
Nice. And for you personally, any more salsa dancing in the future?
I do. After COVID, everything was shut down, and some of the places I used to go to have disappeared, and now I have to see where the happening places is. But I do miss it a lot, and I do plan on, putting on the shoes and getting back on the dance floor at some point. I need to get back into shape.
Well, your shape looks pretty good. I think I don't think it'll be a whole lot more, work. Dancing is one of those things. It's like riding a bike. All you got to do is just, the muscles are there, so you can do it. So that's great. So tell us, how do we get a hold of you? What's your website, your telephone number, anything, those, so if somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they find you?
It's Allegiant Group. We're located in Woodland Hill, right at the corner of Topanga Canyon Boulevard and Oxnard. The address is 5959 Topanga Canyon Boulevard, Suite 370, Woodland Hills. We do have our website. It's www.allegiantgroup.com. We have a lot of tools on there that are useful, and you get to know our staff, a little bit about us on there. Any information you need about us, you can give us a call at 818-80. I don't even remember my phone number. I just blanked out.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. If you don't remember it, but you gave the website, and the number is on the website.
Yes.
All right. Well then, intrepid listeners, that is all the time we have for today. I would like to thank my guest, Susana Barajas. The amazing salsa dancer. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please look forward to future podcasts right here. Same bad time, same bad channel. I guarantee you will be entertained, enlightened at the same time. I'm your host, Gary Weiss. I look forward to spending time with you on our next podcast, which will be next week for me. You all come back now. You hear?
Tax Matters Radio Podcast.
Presented by the Echelon Radio Network.
And Echelon Business Development.
More than just networking.
Way more.